straight live. Um, I have reset the stream many times, so it attests to how long it takes to do a double elimination tournament. Especially with the turnout that we got, looks like Professor No's having problems controlling his fingers. His alternate reality self is winning the battle. When was the last time I slept? This morning. Well, no, not this morning, I guess. Now we're at yesterday morning. Yeah. Samsung Blue can lose to pro players. That is true. Everyone can lose to someone else if you alt while you're alive on Karthus. We should do a CSGO tourney. I agree. I'd like that. I wouldn't mind it one bit. Yeah, Steven, shut up. Stop being me. Lego. We have Legos in the stream now. That's good. That dude's headset not working, TJ, and he's officially Phantom Lord. A lot of bold things get said in the middle of the night. Can I shout you out, G Star Raw? I'm not gonna say I'm gonna call you out, but I'm not gonna not shout you out. I don't even know what that means. Shout you out? Like, I can't yell anymore. G-Star Raw, you are a person who is to be recognized. And, so you are. And that's my job. What, you think I get paid? I cry every time. I knew he'd shout my friend, and then he did. Alright, Akali being taken away right away. Pretty common ban in these games. We've seen. Change this title. Or maybe you can. Oh, whatever. We're in game 2. Got a Thresh ban, got a Lee Sin ban, got a Morgana ban. Don't want to see any of those people in this game. I'm not sure which ones are targeted bans and which ones are just characters they don't want to play against, or, you know, some sort of ace up the opponent's sleeves into their team composition. But I know that Kha'Zix is definitely a targeted ban. He struggled a little bit with his early game dominance, never really recovered from it. Last ban we got is Rise, gonna get him out of here. Just a really strong late game, mid game champion. Just really, yeah, Rise is a good guy. No, he will help you move. He has a truck. He'll help you move. Blue team's gonna be picking up Jana right away. Purple team not hesitating. We're going to be seeing the same bottom lane that we were running before. We got Corky Zillion. I mean, if it worked for you last game, there's no reason why you should change it. Other than maybe your opponents have come up with a way to prevent it. This game we got Maokai going over to the blue side, possibly, and the Syndra, so a little bit of pick priority swap, where his characters are kind of rolling right back in. I don't know if Purple Side thought they'd lose their Corky or Zillion, but they definitely had the rest of their team stolen. Sometimes the best thing you can do against your opponent is not only ban all the other champions that they play, and then pick the ones that they wanted to play out of the remaining roster. I mean, if they want to play him, and there's a chance that the lineup was good if you lost to it before, and then you can use it just as well. We're not going to see that Syndra right away. We're going to instead see a J4. Maybe playing off the fact they've already banned Kha'Zix and Lee Sin, kind of the same tier or a style of jungle. They're missing that early game presence jungle now. If they take the J4, there's not much of anyone for Purple Team left to pick. So they go with the ramp. No, they just go with someone. They still don't quite know, and it definitely shows they're not quite sure who's left to pick. There's Rengar now. Rengar is probably the last one out of that roster, and depending on the player, is very, very strong. And Syndra going to be getting that the mid player, sorry, on Team Undefined, going to be able to pick up that Syndra for the blue team not selecting it. Now it's definitely up for blue team to find a way around this Syndra pressure that has been shoving them in all game. All tournament, rather. Zenix showing off his champion pool on his account. He wants you to know that he has more games played than you and will definitely beat you up in a fight in real life. I think that's exactly what he said. Maybe I'm reading too far into things. Then we got finally Lucian as the anchor. Very potent ADC. Not much left to say on him. You have a Lucian, you have a Janna lane. You have a lot of burst damage coming out in the early game, and the overhealing is going to make kind of the crazy dash straight at you Lucian game plan that most players use with Lucian a little bit safer. The only other person I haven't really talked to, I guess, it's probably Jace mid. I know. Yeah, Jace. We got a Jace mid now, which is a character that might be able to deal with that Syndra with the additional range that it brings in. He's not going to be in such danger of being long range stunned into something like a Rengar ult. That's definitely going to help them out, and then they're going to have the Maokai in the top versus Malphite. So we're going to have a tree versus a rock. I don't know if I can sum up how top lane traditionally goes in League of Legends better than a tree versus a rock. And their abilities are something like a little bit of damage, a little bit of damage, a little bit of damage, and I probably won't die now. Also with a really good ult. We got a 3-minute little intermission here while we wait for these players to load up into their real game. Well, I'm stuck in limbo loading zone, so that when I yell things that are nonsensical from my computer, they aren't able to use their decoders in time to find out what it all means. Yeah, the prize was very good this time. We had a large turnout for the tournament, which definitely helped with that, and it was also Riot supported this time, so it's a real prize for sure. It's nothing to slouch at. I'm not watching YouTube videos while this game loads. I swear. No, this isn't in the right spot. We gotta move that. We gotta fit that somewhere in some void space real quick. I know we only have 50 seconds left until I have to move it again, but things like this are important. Just sitting around waiting to go home. Not really for the game to start to go home at this point. It's close to 2 in the morning. It's not that I don't want to be here, it's that I don't want to not be in bed. But that's just what happens when you have a great tournament and a bunch of people come and you choose it to be double elimination. Are there memory B cells or memory T cells or both? I know that there are cells, and I don't think the letters are relevant. I would just say cells are good.
Wasn't the T?
Well, I mean, there's probably more than one T cell. It could be a Resident Evil thing, but and that would give them regenerative abilities. Or do Resident Evil zombies regenerate? Or the T versions anyway? I don't think they do. I think they just don't deteriorate. Deteriorate. That's the right way to say that. I think they just lack the ability to die. I don't think they regenerate. They kind of have to, though, if they're dead. I'm not exactly sure how somebody made something up to explain that. Alright, it looks like we're in game. Once again, taking the YOLO no word strategy, where everybody goes ahead and just buys a bunch of health potions because they don't want to lose lane and embarrass themselves. Solely relying on those trinket wards. I don't know if we're going to have a standard opening right away here, but there is wards and there is taunting already, so... And small chat between the players. It looks like if I bring this up here, we'll know that Syndra says that one is BM, and Jace says that he can see the sun. Probably not that great of a thing to be able to see at 2 a.m. in the morning. in the middle of a dark room. So I would get your site checked out. And Leona is gonna ulti node. Well, actually, it's just the hysteria he might have to work on in that case. Doing some traditional ADC helps the jungle out strategies here. Both teams not really wanting to dabble into the opposing jungle. Jenna's doing the shield myself and auto you thing, while Zillion's doing the bomb alt bomb thing. Syndra's making orbs. Jace is smashing things around the orbs. One's a tree and one's a rock at top lane. Really exciting start to this game. Both teams have nearly exactly the same amount of money. Blue team has slightly more because of the way the lanes are pushing. So that's nice for them, I guess, maybe. It turns out that Maokai is not putting up with anything from the Rock Man up top. Just immediately twists advance onto the opposing minion wave, taking a little bit of extra damage, but looks like he's wanting to push it out. Both of them have the crystalline flask, though they're going to be healing quite a bit back up. They're going to have to kill each other a few times over to get any kills. Wow, J4 lands a sweet flag combo onto the Rengar. That's going to blow his flash. Definitely ruining a little bit of the potency of his early game jungle attempts now. Rengar doesn't have the best gap closers, so applying that red is one of the better things that he can do to force the fight into his favor. Now Maokai and Malphite are in a kind of just a weird CS battle where they're both full health, full mana, and no health potions left. So it's up to them to decide whether they're going to have a friendly duel or not. Meanwhile, in bottom, Zillion doesn't really have the chance to be passive. He's got one skill, and it's Bomb. And, well, I guess he has two skill, but it's Bomb sooner. So there's always going to be aggressive bottom lane when you have a Zillion down there. Also, Maokai, well, you could choose to not cast spells on him. It's not necessarily that great of a decision, considering your opponent's going to have a passive and you're not. Looks like Maokai is getting ganked. There comes into play the fact that there's no flash on that Rengar. Unable to really land his skills absolutely perfectly. He might have been able to pressure that a little bit more had they had it. So good job for blue side burning that down. Malphite is going to get a bit of a gold lead here now, being able to push that into the tower. It looks like he's opted not into going bottom. Wow, that was a very, very close flash combo. Jumping on the opponent and then flashing. I don't think it quite made it as far as he wanted it to, though. So he is going to lose his life to a Syndra orb spawn. Rengar, even with his flash down, is still making quite a bit of a heavy jungle presence in comparison to that J4. Meanwhile, bottom lane Lucian and Janna have sent Corki and Zillion packing back, but they're not deterred. No, there's more CS to get. Lucian has a small advantage for now. Corki's gonna get a little bit Or maybe a wide wave back, maybe. No, no, it's completely unfrozen off the turret, so there is going to be about 10 CS differential on the bottom lane off of that first initial force back as Corky directed cam comes back to Corky as he misses a creep. Now it's filmed and everyone knows. Got J4 sitting up for a gank bottom here. Since they haven't been back to ward in that bush since they backed the first time, J4 can kind of just stay there as long as he wants, while his opponents aren't going to know that he's in the waiting. Maybe Lucian's trying to force the situation a bit, throw some spells down, bait his opponents into that J4. But not working as much, so they decide to take the rear gank, which worked very well for them. Maokai teleported down, just following in that Malphite. The health on the Maokai being full gave them the ability to continue that dive down, even with the Malphite coming up to face off. Now that Maokai was able to tank the tower, Malphite's going to die really quickly under the tower, giving 3-1 lead to blue side. I'm not exactly sure what else they'll get here. They might try and take blue, might try and take this tower. Let's see what is its health at. Dangerously low, like a cheesy. It's going to go down. That's going to make the gold lead a total of 1,000 in favor of blue now. With the only small difference being that's negated by about 100 because they just lost a pink ward down in bottom lane. Malphite is the first to make it back top. After that death, sometimes you get back a lot faster from dying to making it back top than having to continue your fighting spree. So he is going to be able to push that into tower and lose the Malphite. Maokai. Really, these characters are too similarly named for this early in the morning. Lose the Maokai, a little bit of that CS. But with that knowledge now of where they are and the good map control they have up on the top, they're going to be able to do an aggro leash swap on Dragon, producing them the first Dragon of the game at roughly 9 minutes. Now that's how you successfully make Dragon do tons of lack of damage. A good calling coming out of Lucian there. J4 going to be able to easily clean that up with an ultimate. We saw that Zillion had used his flash to get out of the first bit. And with that said, he wasn't able to get out of the Cataclysm. Jace knows that he's done for here. After that Ignite goes down, Cinder used her combo. But, you know, it looks like... Looks like Jace had the ability to get enough damage down to make it a counter kill. Wow, Maokai comes right out of race. All of a sudden the trees are coming alive and they're ganking you on your turret. Unfortunately, J4 was not able to make it out of the dive and the tower chose him. He was selected. He had to join the tournament and he did not make it past the part where everybody goes and gets the weapon at the beginning. Back into this little the push the minions down after fighting each other phase of the game. Top's going to be pushed into the turret. Bottom's going to be pushed back out of its turret. Corky now doing the I don't have a turret to farm, and it's the other way. So kind of the opposite of that situation where one of the turrets gets taken early and then you're kind of prevented to CS because, well, it's nice that your lane's pushing during all of these encounters. Now Lucian has the option to either freeze it or push it, but either way you're still going to lose, you know, 2-3 waves before you're able to go back down to bot and start farming. And even when you do, you're only going to be able to actually take like maybe 2 of those waves before you get into trouble. You know, the board game. The mom comes into the room and everyone says, "What are you doing?" And there's 5 people in the bush and they kill you and you'll get into trouble. That's how I remember the 90s anyway. A lot of vision control going down. We got 2 pinks both missing that 1 ward for purple side. So purple side still kind of knows what up, but not exactly as much as they'd like to know. Oh, that's the sound of a person eating 7-Eleven food. Although it's soggy, somehow it's still good every time. I don't understand how they do it. Malphite and Maokai have started their battle of wits once again, where they throw spells at each other and then determine that they still could be doing something better, but it wasn't incorrect to fight the person, but it wasn't necessarily correct. Because both of them just have a lower mana pool now. Everyone else is doing the group up mid, sweep a bunch of wards, baiting each other out to try and get into a position where you try and sweep a ward, and you take the wrong ward to sweep, and then your opponents take your life. Though it actually looks like, especially with Lucian's double shot and Jace's Q, they're getting a lot of poke down onto that turret. Malphite is the first person to ult in. Maokai immediately follows, though. He's really low. I don't know why he's so low. I think he was taking tower shots while he was teleporting in. And that's really going to cause them. They go down a character and the opponents just initiate right away, knowing that there's not much they can do in this 4v5 situation, especially losing their initiation / frontline character. So yeah, I think that fight would have went a little bit differently, and they wouldn't have been able to punish Maokai for being in what would be a less optimal ward position teleport. If I'm pretty sure he took some tower shots before he teleported down. He definitely showed up half health, and he was full health after doing dueling skills with Malphite at the top, as is tradition. And still just pressuring mid over and over again. They're really determined to get this mid turret. They do still have the gold leak even after that first mistake. Great flag combo by J4 to tell the cat to go home. He will be back another time, but for now he'll have to wait another day. Relilicon going out on Syndra. Looks like they are having a problem with the amount of healing coming out of Maokai and Jan, and maybe wanting to negate some of that damage. Or lack of damage, I suppose. Lucian just sitting here in his seat, taking the blue pill, going home. He doesn't want to go down the rabbit hole too deep as of right now. He wants to go home and spend his money that he's earned in virtual reality. Zillion and Syndra are meeting Jace for dueling CSs. Jace has a little bit of a deeper ward. Like Syndra doesn't have a ward up that mid, but they haven't seen too much of a risk of being lane ganked or lane pressured out of there, and Syndra's quite safe with her stuns, so easy dragon, easy life comes out of blue side. Someone beside me is losing his mind to a video called Wildebeest, I believe. Blue buff goes on to Jace? Aw, you know what? Today is the day that, well, I mean, I think anyway, yes. J4 has succeeded in helping. He pressed the hold button, so it was impossible unless he has the Thorns passive. And Jace really messes up some sort of auto attack string for him to get that blue buff. Small hint, if you don't have to move or attack, you should probably just not. Because League of Legends has a lot of predetermined ideas about what you should be doing at any point in the game. Sometimes it will assume you want to attack things that you never would have even thought to. Anyway, a lot of top pressure coming up. We got the irritants of Gianna just saying, well, you can't initiate on me. If you do, you'll probably be followed up right away, and you're a little bit more important than I am. But Jace gets hit with a Malphite ultimate as J4 dies pretty much immediately. Maokai gonna try and prevent some of that damage with his ultimate as the team kites backwards. I don't think Maokai was able to proc his ultimate there before going down. I don't know if he was stunned or whatnot. But it looks like the purple team is definitely going to stop the push that's happening up top. Corki has now rejoined them after being bottom, shoving that lane up. And so we go back into the lane reset mode, trying to push all of these lanes up, collect a red buff maybe onto this Lucian to get some picks a little bit. Lucian definitely really strong right now. He's got an infinity edge, and I'm guessing by the time he's back, he's going to have some sort of combination of boots and something else, whether it is fully upgrading his boots or boots and a dagger, or just whatever Lucians do nowadays. All right, not a dagger. You probably gotta get the cooldown boots. Jace is in a kind of a position where he wants to finish an item soon. TM, but he's got 2 half items supposedly. Brutalizer you can leave as a brutalizer forever. His Mana has not unleashed itself into the larger state, and he's got a pick, so he doesn't have any completed status effects, but he definitely has a lot of damage. Maokai's got a Rod of Ages now. He is now officially the great Deco Tree of League of Legends. Got some battling happening mid. A bunch of people casting spells, trying to just get a little bit of a damage upper hand on each other, as well as putting hordes deeper and deeper into their opposing jungle. Getting that all-important knowledge about how their rotations are going to happen. So it's really comforting knowing that Rengar is not coming to stab you in the face and ruin whatever plans you had laid. Dragon hits the 2-minute mark, coming back up as this first turret is heavily pressured and may go down, though it looks like we have a Maokai teleport going up top. It could be too late, though. Malphite lands a 2-person ult on 2 carries. Jace goes down. Lucian's not being focused right now, but yes, no, he's going to go down as well. J4 goes down quite easily, and now Maokai, though he had a beautiful positioning for a teleport later into this game, shows up to the tower and finds out his entire team has died. A teleport just not coming in as fast as he needed to be because his team got caught out on the tower, and a double Malphite ult. Good ult by Malphite there to really seal the deal and force them not to be pinched into a position they don't want to be into. Swings a gold into the lead of the purple, I believe for the first time in this game. It is now 29 to slightly more than 29, although Malphite looks like he has been caught on a backing on a ward. He's going to get stabbed down by J4. And they're going immediately for Baron. They know that their opponents are on a back right now, healing after that first fight, Well, you come back to life really quickly. If you don't back as soon as you beat somebody, in these mid-game fights, it only takes, like 10, 15 seconds to come back to life. If you automatically, if you instantly path the Baron, you're going to get there pretty quickly. Corgi doing tons of uncontested damage, Syndra having a very good hourglass. And purple team was able to get there by the time that blue team was got to the point, or before the blue team could finish the Baron off. There was enough pressure from the few people who were alive and made it to Baron in time to let the rest of the team show up on time. Syndra's got to be a little careful. Any of the poison effects from Baron would kill her. Rengar got to be careful. Everybody's got to be careful. Baron's going on a genocide. Triple kill. Quadra kill from Baron. Easy game, easy life. Baron is now the new the new team member. Malphite 1v1s Baron Nashor and does not even take any damage, so good job on him. We have a 1v1v1 team tournament going on here. It's really revolutionary. We had to break the map so that Baron could kill everyone just to make this happen to you. This is the first time it's happened, I think, in a competitive level tournament. So now we're heading into the position where one team's died and can't really... they can stop it. Rengar's got boots 5. He's going to get down there a lot faster than his opponents would like him to. And Malphite's ult is up, landing a great ult on to Lucian and J4. Once again, 2 squishy targets get hit by the Malphite ult, and it's just enough damage to completely prevent them from being able to do some sort of reinitiation. They just have to run away and hope they don't get picked off on the way. Maokai here looks like he's definitely under a lot of pressure, but a flash Q out from Jace is going to be able to finish him off before Maokai gets close to low. Actually, it looks like he was healed quite a bit from his passive and whatnot on his way out. I think he was at like half, and now he's near full. Oh, he's also been running, he's kept his crystalline flask around, just chugging back the eggnog while he's looking for his opponents. This is going to give some free availability into this dragon. Once again, really good aggro control on the support Janna there, going to prevent them from taking any damage, and also it prevents the debuff from coming on to your team, which can really slow down your progress on the dragon. Red buff goes on to Lucian. A Whisper goes on to Jace, so he's now starting to finish his shiny things, and Mer mana is opening itself up. That's going to give the triple shot a lot of additional damage when he decides to use that mode. It doesn't get used too much other than that, but the extra damage from it on the triple shot really does add up. Other than that, obviously, its original intention is the fact that it gives Jace an endless resource to spam Qs at his opponent's face. Maokai with a little bit of the gold advantage he got there from Dragon and the assist from the high... there's a 500 gold spree on Astro there playing Syndra. He's going to have a lot of the... pre-requirements to get a frozen heart, so quite a bit of power spike there. J4 finally starting to build a little bit of tanky items. Has 6 deaths now at this point. So, well, that Lizard Elder and Boots 5 can be quite potent. They don't transfer into the mid-dominating gameplay so much if you're not doing more of a roam comp. Malphite's basically unkillable. He has 2 defensive items, so until it gets to the point where the team fight's not being fought anymore, he probably is not going to die. Not too much on the damage front on him, though. Support Zillion, he's got Chalice. He's got Bomb for days, resets for days. A couple other cooldown effects. Corky working on Infinity Edge for that Trinity Force. Interesting calling. While they do have the speed from the gate, their opponents have the resource of Zillion to be able to move quick anyone out kind of in that gets stuck in the back line. That and with a Syndra stun, they're having a hard time just walking up to their opponents and forcing a fight. And so they all back as a team. So, no, J4 has decided he is a lone wolf and he's going to take out these golems for the greater good. Jen has decided that Hyper Gate is not her kind of gate. She's just going to use her natural move speed buff to beat everyone. She doesn't need any handicaps or any help. She likes to take the handicap. Everyone gets Hyper Gate and I get to beat you there because, well, she's got Boots 5 and she's Yana. A little bit of a CSing coming out here, some ward clearing. Looks like Blue is going to try and gain the Baron vision advantage, and they probably successfully have. Bottom lane looks like it has to be pushed out, especially since they still have the turret down there, which is quite rare for a 30 minutes. And that turret is definitely adding some pressure for them to tie up, or I guess it would be, again, a little bit more of a gold lead. But either way, even up the turrets. Blue team has taken the liberty of taking the other team's jungle while they back off of their bottom pushing adventures. A lot of minions coming out in top and bottom. Looks like they're sending somewhere to clean that up. Jace is already down bot cleaning that up. Don't want to lose any turrets to minions at this point. Or really any point. Red team has decided to do their own sweep of vision. The awkward, there's a ward in the bush. Can I have to hit it 5 times. Can I get away with doing that dance? Where you move away from the ward every time you hit it because you know something might be coming. And Jace was. He showed up, half health Zillion. 1 Q, half health. Alright, vision control is given back to the blue side of Baron. Malphite really wants to kill that pink. Best he can do is stick a ward on top of it. Not to bait them out or anything, but if they don't go and clear it, then it forces their hand. For a short while, anyway. Coming up on a 2k gold lead, or even less than that. This game's really even. I mean, the kills don't say it, but these objectives have been speaking louder than words for blue side, as well as just the pure CS advantage that they've been taking. Syndra has the advantage over Jace, but the rest of the lane's not having as many CS as their opponents, which is making a 9 to 18 game a lot closer than it maybe needs to be. Quite a testament to the fact that really there's no CS in League of Legends that's okay to miss. And not dying for it. And then you have to type worth in all chat, but you really do need to hit every single creep. Dragon's given to blue team again. They just, I don't know, they're spending so much time focusing on vision control that as soon as they know that their opponents aren't at Baron and that they've taken the routing to leave backwards from Baron or back, they immediately go to the bottom lane and they take an objective. They take a turret, they take the dragon, and they bring the gold lead back up into a position where they're not falling behind, even though on map they're having a little bit of an issue. Like their team fight ability is just not as great. But if they keep taking objectives, they keep keeping the CS lead, and they catch some unwieldy turrets when their opponents aren't looking, they're definitely able to get themselves back into a commanding position. Like, I don't know, actually, they have the positional advantage. It looks like Purple Team, having won the first game, is playing a little bit more cautious. They don't want me to only get 3 hours of sleep tonight. They want to end this game in 2, and they're willing to put an extra 30 minutes into this game right here and now to ensure that it goes down without their opponents getting a chance to make a comeback. Oh, here's a bomb delivery system, but it's stuffed by the frozen trinket. It slowed him so much because not only did it slow his movement speed, but it stops his boots 5, and the bomb proc didn't go off. So unfortunately, he's going to have to give a refund to his customer because Janna is still alive and still really at a healthy life total. Syndra trying to counter stun, but J4 has a Banshee Veil. Finally now, he's not going to be deterred by such things, as well as we get a position where 2 carries didn't instantly die to the Malphite ult, or at least get into a uncontestable position where they really just have to back out of the fight. And now we actually have a team fight that might go in the favor of blue side. Malphite all down, they're putting a lot of pressure on the turret. Malphite teleported in there, which is a bit awkward, but I mean, he would not have been in position to soak up some of that damage and sway blue side from going in there if he didn't teleport. So good call on that to make sure that that mid turret doesn't go down. Now we have a top push. Finally, purple side catch a break on the map control side of things. Gonna be able to get top pushed up and maybe break some of these the flood of wards that has encroached their side. But rather than clearing out their wards, it looks like they've gone for the more aggressive plan of getting wards down for Baron on their opponent's side. Some pinging going down. We got bot pushing out also for purple side now, so those pushes have kind of paid off a little bit in dividends. Maokai is forced to go bottom. The Maokai is the one with the teleport left after making that that mid-game quick switch around. That rush definitely put them in a position where they can afford to put Maokai bottom now safely, and they won't necessarily 100% have to use the teleport, though they do know it's up and they don't have anyone to contend the teleport war. Bot is now just going to be pushed up, and purple team has to respond and respect the fact that that is going to end up at their turret at some point. A little bit more poking coming down from Jace. Just shooting blind Qs into the yonder. Hoping that maybe he can get some, you know, like 1 or 2 Qs down on the same character. Is definitely going to put them into a position where maybe they can force the Zill ult earlier than their opponents want. Once again, this gold differential super close. We're looking at 0.4k gold difference. And that's basically pinching pennies here with the 50,000 gold that each team has racked up by 35 minutes. I mean, like, it matters a bit about the distribution. I think Zilean has a little bit more money than Janna. But mostly these teams are completely on even ground as far as financials go. Blue team now adding a lot of pressure with that Jace. Once again, he did land 2 Qs on the same person. Zilean's at half now, after regenerating some health as well. So we're in a spot where though purple team feels like it looks like they feel they could win a team fight, they're having a hard time breaking through or getting into a position where they don't have to eat a Q to get into it. And I guess a position like that would be to throw their own aura back at their opponents. Lucian's now at like a healthy 1/3, and is going to position them for Baron. Whether they do it or not, it's a different... Oh my goodness, and the orb just lines in blind. Puts Corki to half, puts Cinder to half after we get a couple of their skill shots, and now they're on the chase. Wow, Maokai comes in from the back. Looks like Corki's going to get ulted right away, and Rengar's going to get a quick pick. Jace is kind of left by himself to try and clean up 3 champions. Corki gets the ult. I don't know if he died and came back or if they just let it time out, but definitely the time that Corki had to come back alive put a hamper in their plan as Rengar's massive damage output combined with Cinder was able to just destroy the backline of the blue team. Now we just have a tree distributing sap all the way down the lane, asking his opponents kindly not to kill him as he gets ulted by Syndra. She didn't even use her ult there. Lucian picks up a Bloodthirster. He's back out for vengeance. Syndra picks up a Void Staff, which is interesting considering the amount of AP that we have on the other team. Or on there. No, actually there's a lot of magic damage coming out of that team. We got Malphite, we got... So obviously our opponents are going to be essentially spamming magic resist. Definitely gonna need a Void Staff sooner than later. You're going through a Banshees, you're going through what Jace will have a Banshees, and Maokai's Locket. For some reason I thought Void Staff was a pistol. I was like, wait, why would they do that? They didn't. No, that's the short-term answer. Now J4 landing a huge amount of knockups on that Rengar. He was not able to do much there. Though when he comes back in the Zillion ult, he's actually invisible. That buff does not fall off of him. So as soon as he comes back to life, he just walks away. Now he's pushing up mid, which is gonna force an answer from blue side. Looks like blue team's strategy here is going to be push the turret anyway. I'm not exactly sure if they have... Yeah, it looks like Maokai is going to go back. Though he might have been stopped there. Yeah, it looks like he was forced back, so now blue team's kind of committed to trying to get this turret. Because if they don't get this turret, then... Well, they have a Rengar that's just taking things for free. Rengar might be rejoining this fight really quickly here. No, it looks like he's content with just taking an inhibitor. And see, Rengar has accumulated a total of 16 stacks on his flare past the breaking point. That with just pretty much all offensive items definitely puts him in ahead of the race as far as base racing goes. Alright, we got Baron coming out for purple side. Syndra eats an orb out of the corner. She's still going to attempt to do this zoning business. Baron does go down for purple side. Syndra throws down a hourglass in the meantime. Not wanting to be caught out by any sort of skill. Well, their team collects the final loot on that Baron and flees back to their base to push their waves. The engineers are called in mid. They're going to push those super minions back and make sure they don't get anywhere near the tower. Moving into 41 minutes into this game, looks like Purple Team has regained their lead they acquired through the mid game, bringing up a 7k differential. Still not that astronomical considering that we're working with pools now of like 6 and 5.8k gold, but definitely nothing to scale at when your opponents are ahead and you have someone like a Syndra with 13 kills. Rocking now with GA, she's at max build. Definitely the one terrorizing the opponents here. Ugh. Yawning while saying words, please. It's the tough deliberation between whether I stop recording what I'm saying or I finish the word. A little bit of farm cleanup. Little bit of movement. We see we got purple and blue both heading for the bottom, punching each other's wards. Looks like Zillion ate an orb there in the middle of the fight. It definitely did kind of deter them from going down that fight. You don't want to start with your Zillion that low, because if Zillion is being focused during the fight and he's low already, he's probably going to have to ult himself. And as we saw, you ult the Corki. Doesn't matter whether it doesn't matter whether he dies and comes back to life or you time the ult out. It's still going to eat up a lot of time, and Corki is going to come back into the fight. So you have to clean up the entire rest of the fight by the time that Corki comes back. Spells and particle effects flying through the air as each team is convinced that they should be the one who keeps the turret. It is the blue team that in the end loses their turret. Maokai now using his ult just to negate the poke damage that's coming out of this red team. Between the orbs and the rockets, they're definitely sieging quite nicely. Crucible coming out on Jen now. Infinity Edge on Rengar. Well, okay, they're going to push this tower down. Malphite lands yet again another two-person ult, leaving kind of Maokai to go in by himself. Zillion ult is gone, or has gone down. A large team fight has broken out, but Jace looks like he was the only one who died. No, Jace and J4 both have died. Syndra's GA popped. No, sorry. Syndra's best friend Zillion has brought her back to life. She still has her GA. Remains intact. And then Syndra loses her GA to a Janna Tornado. Although she might lose a little bit more than that as Maokai comes and puts a reinitiation on this fight. He's got a little bit low with the Ignite and a Rocket. But there's definitely room for these teams to each come out ahead on the end of this fight. In the end, Corki gets kind of close to Janna, seeing if he can get the kill. Immediately gets exhausted though, and wow, Janna teleports away as soon as Rengar lands on her, using that ult to give himself a jump. Either a little bit of missed timing or just not the I don't know, luck that he wanted. Now we have the Maokai's relentless twisted advance. And a calling. The calling is so close to real, yes, and then Janna finishes him quite hastily by slowing him right down to speed, making him a plain old rock. Obviously, Malphite is some sort of reptile. His inability to be warm has prevented his life from being relevant. Good timing on the minions being killed for blue side. The defense is formidable and their towers do not take damage. Red team or purple team is rewarded with a dragon for having all their lanes pushed in. It's like having 3 countries in Risk. As long as you have it and your opponents are losing, you'll probably win a little bit harder. Continuing to push out these lanes as purple team moves to the top. Looks like they're going to be looking for a push here. Jace is being teleported upon, but he notices right away. So Malphite just shows up, and now we have a 5-on-5. This tower is not going to be one of the ones that are defended. You can't really defend that turret. Angles are just not good enough. And its range is not quite good enough either. Baron's coming up in 7 seconds. Looks like purple team's already in position for it. They clear up the last of the wards, raise its spawns. This should be pretty much a free Baron. I don't see any way that blue team can stop it from basically their base. Jace's orb seems like it goes pretty far, but definitely doesn't go that far. Alright, looks like we got a push on this final turret coming out here. They have Baron buff. They have most of everything they want. It's a matter of finding an opening with these super minions pushing in the other lanes to finish the game off. It looks like they're moving down bottom. That inhibitor has come up, so they want to make sure that that goes down. And even more so, they just want to force a team fight when they're at a position of Baron and financial advantage. Some more energized balls flying into their opponents, getting them a bit low. Anytime now, I'm sure a teamfight's gonna break out. Looks like Malphite's looking for an opening to ult. No, J4 has landed a great ult to land on 3 people, but Malphite finds an ult in the background. Maokai takes a bunch of damage on his way back. Rengar dies in the front line, but Syndra Corki here come up the rear. They land a 3-person stun and a Q. That's going to be an easy cleanup for Corki, and by easy I mean landing a flash ultimate to finish the Maokai out. That's going to be a GG well played. Team Undefined is going to go ahead and take the Nexus and the tournament. They're rewarded with a cash prize pool and a championship prize. Thank you everyone for watching the Node Internet Gaming Cafe League of Legends tournament. This is the first official Riot Games sponsored tournament that we have hosted here, and it seemed to have gone quite well. Or probably just sleep there. How am I gonna get home? Luckily, I have befriended good players. They stay in the tournament for a while and drive me home. That's how that's how it works. Hopefully anyway. I don't know if we'll make it out to the vehicle. So anyway, thank you guys for watching this tournament. If you weren't here and you'd like to participate in another one, it seems like it was definitely a good enough turnout that we can be hosting them again later. So hope to be seeing you guys then. And for now, keep it classy and have a good night.